We are Gheist, Stefan and Philou. Thank you guys for this interview. How was your set? Was it good?
Yeah, we enjoyed it very much. It was fun. It was a good time we had.
Okay.
We're happy to be here.
I will ask you the first question. When did you start electronic music?
Well, actually, our electronic roots are back in the 90s. Then we did different ways, actually. Philou comes from a band background. He was playing in a band where he was a singer, the front singer of a band. And I was a DJ, like a DJ. I started with vinyl. I had my first reloop player in the 90s, in 96 or something.
What was the sound you enjoyed, the artists you were inspired by, and what was the sound you preferred at the time?
That was actually pretty easy. A friend of mine brought me to the Love Parade. It was 1996, and Westbam was playing. I was 15 years old, I guess, and Westbam was playing at the Siegessäule, and it was like a huge environment, and he was playing and he was scratching with his elbows and something like this, and I was so impressed. I thought, okay, that's my thing, and from this moment I'll fall in love with the music.
For me, it was entirely different, to be
Okay.
honest. In the 90s, I was like 100% into grunge.
Yeah.
I was listening to Pearl Jam, Radiohead, Nirvana, all these kind of bands. But also, I always loved the 70s, and they were still there for me. And like Krautrock is like this German thing, and it's not that far away from the music-wise. It's like the idea of it is quite close to a rave, to this kind of music. They kept on jamming, you know. They had patterns, but they played it with all the instruments live. But it was kind of the same. The idea was to get like a higher level of consciousness. So through music, through sound, and I was into that too. So when we met, for me these worlds matched. You know what I mean? Like it came this like handmade, handcrafted life with all the mistakes, with all the great energy also, to put it together with like was there in the 90s with this movement that came up in the 90s in electronic music. It was like very inspiring, to be honest. And it's always about freedom, you know. If you want to work with someone, in the end you have to allow each and everyone his space or their space, so, and give each and everyone freedom for their ideas, and then just add something to it, and then you start playing ping pong, creative ping pong. My idea, your idea, we switch it back and forth, and then it comes to an us. And the us, the idea that the thing that it starts the moment you create your own identity as a group. That's the moment it gets really interesting.
Yes.
And also, like mixing creative ideas from different genres was also an idea for Gheist. Yeah. What we had at the first moment on. So we thought, okay, why not mixing these genres together? Why not going further, going one step further?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
What is your relationship with the records and vinyl, if there is one?
Yeah, we definitely have a relationship with vinyl. So from the 90s on, so as I started my DJ career, as I started playing it at my home, like as a bedroom DJ, you can call it like this. I started to go to the vinyl store like twice a week. And that was also always the first day was the day where the new vinyls arrived.
Was it on Thursday, like in France?
It was first day in Germany. Okay. It was first day, and I was always the first one in the morning who was in front of the vinyl store and was waiting, because you had like 3-4 vinyls, and sometimes it was just a test press of something like a white label.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have one of these. So the dealer was just keeping all the good stuff for the bigger names, but at some point he said, "Okay, you're here like every week, so now you get this one, and then you get this one." Yeah. And it was like sliding slowly into this in this cool rarely stuff from the vinyl.
Yeah, for me it was like with my parents. My father was listening to vinyl, like. Through jazz music, through classic music, but also like the Beatles and all these bands like Led Zeppelin, and it started there. And I still buy, if I love a record, I still buy a vinyl of a band, or like I wouldn't buy like a digital thing, I would buy it as a vinyl. So if I'm in love with music, I buy it as a vinyl.
And you have to take care for it.
Yes.
You cannot just throw it in a corner. You have to take
Yes.
care of it.
Yes.
When it's too warm, then you have to change the room and so
Yes.
on. And you have to clean it. And it's just like a kind of a work. So, but at the end, you have something in your hand, and that counts.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's also even more like if you decide to listen to a record, you're not going to skip through it.
Yes.
Like you listen through the whole thing
Yes.
because it's like a vinyl. It's like that.
don't skip through.
No, you don't skip through it. And then like, if you listen to vinyl, you still appreciate an album. And, you know, you have to listen through the whole thing.
Yes.
And even the A and B side, whatever it is, yeah, there might be a track that you don't like at the beginning. Half a year later, it's your favorite track.
Yeah.
If you do it digitally, you miss out on that because you only listen to the songs that are immediately good.
Yes.
And you miss out on the ones that are more challenging, and that's perfect about this.
Yes.
It's perfect about vinyl.
The question, back to the past. You have the choice to choose a place and a time that you have lived or not. When and where will it be? You take the DeLorean, you know? Never.
I would choose at the end of the 60s, I guess 68, 69, beginning of the 70s. That's my
And where?
In New York, definitely. In LA, New York. London is also fine. Also in Germany, in Hamburg, that was a movement in Hamburg. So the Beatles started their career there.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting time frame actually. So, but also the 80s are super interesting. So, like being in New York in a Studio 54 at the end of the 70s or beginning of the 80s. So, could be also interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's the same with me. I mean, like honestly, if I wouldn't choose the end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s, I will lie. You know, obviously like kind of there because it's like the vibe was amazing. Then also the hippie movement, which was one of the biggest youth movements that there was. Then the beginning of metal, like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, it was all so interesting and so free and inspired, basically inspired. And
Yes.
everything, there was so many firsts, you know. The things we do now, they're amazing, but there are no firsts anymore because they were all done already. The first concert in a stadium, the first whatever it is, you know, it was done there already.
Apart from electronic music nowadays, what kind of music are you listening to?
Well, that's a tough question or a hard question actually, because I don't have like a favorite genre I'm listening to. So, but I would say electronica is actually one of my favorite genre right now. But because you cannot point it like it's this and that music. So electronica for me can be broken beats, can be like something like apparat or moderat or something, and it also can be something like really arty. And this is where I get my inspiration from music, and I cannot name it as a genre actually. For me, the genre is electronica.
Okay. It can be something else than electronica.
Yeah. I'm not just electronica.
Of course.
I'm also like he also is not just electronica. I know that. but for me, it's also of course as like someone who writes lyrics, who is like into songwriting. I listen to singer-songwriter music. I listen to Nick Drake, but I also listen to Bon Iver. I listen to these guys definitely. Rai X also. I love him. He's like great dude. But there are still like bands that have been there for a long time, like Radiohead or something. I still listen to them, and I don't even need to listen to the new stuff of these bands. I also love to listen back to the old stuff of these bands because it's still good, you know. It's just different. The way it's produced, it's different nowadays.
Yeah.
But the songwriting, like, take The Verve, take Bittersweet Symphony. This song will always be amazing. It will always touch me when I listen
Timeless,
to it, you know?
yeah.
It's timeless. So I love to go back to these kind of guys too. Jose Gonzalez, like, they're really great dudes out there.
I'm going to ask you the question, millionaire. I give you €1 million now. Don't tell me you will put it in the bank. You have to do something with it. What would it be?
Actually, I'm really happy with my life.
I take it back.
No. I'm actually really happy with my life. If I have to exchange anything of my life, I wouldn't take it.
Yeah. Okay.
You mean like if it was like if you get the money and the life changes that
Yeah.
you don't take? Yeah, it's same here. Same here. But other than that, you know, I think like money is a tool. I'm not into money at all. I really don't care about money that much. But if you have the opportunity to have that tool to create safety for your creativity
Also for your future
and for my future, for our future, for my friend's future, whatever it is, you know, for my family, then of course I would try to do something like that with that. Not a selfish thing, but
I wouldn't buy a boat.
you wouldn't buy a boat?
Wouldn't buy a boat.
No, but never.
No.
Never at all. I don't need a fucking boat. I get a
You
boat.
just rent it for a day, and that's
Exactly,
already good.
and it's much easier. And
Why do you want to buy a boat?
I mean, like, if you gave it to me, I would rather spend it on someone else than gave it back, to be honest. Someone who really needs it. But I don't need it. If I had it, I would do something useful with it.
Which artists would you dream to collaborate with? It can be, as you know, maybe we can do it and think about someone that maybe it's not possible. Just a dream.
Because it's not possible. But Philo knows my answer really well. Actually, it's simple. I would say it's Hans Zimmer for me, because he's such an inspiring artist in so many ways, actually, and also not like having a collaboration or something, but sharing a stage with him, doing something. Just exchange like as an artist would be a big goal in my life. Yeah.
Hans Zimmer.
I mean, like, Hans Zimmer is amazing. I would be happy to do that. If you listen to us now, no, let's do it. I mean, for me, it's also, you know, there's some singer-songwriters out there that touch me because their personalities and their vibe. I can relate so much.
Okay.
So there are some of them I would love to work, like I mentioned before, with Bon Iver, with Tom York, also Ben Howard or something like these guys, because I think we level up on one, like, feeling-wise, not skill-wise. I would not say that. It would be like too much to say that. But just from the vibe I'm getting from these people, to spend a day with them in a studio, in a room, to talk about things that is important to them, that would be amazing.
Okay.
Even if there's no music coming out in the end, just to have this exchange.
Okay. What is your upcoming project? Something you can talk about? The next
that's
month
all
or
a big
weeks?
secret. No. We have a lot of upcoming music. So we have something in the pipeline. We just signed to a new label, Embassy One Records. So it's a Berlin-based record label, and there's a second single coming out end of September. We're really looking forward to it. Actually, we're still working on it. Yeah. And there's also coming something up on big labels like Afterlife and Ninja Tune and so on. So yeah,
A busy future.
busy future.
Okay. If we want to follow you, we want to listen to your music, what is the best way to follow you and to listen to you?
I would say if you want to listen to our music, then Spotify is definitely the space. That's the place to listen to our music. And if you want to follow us, just go on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we just open, or to come to our shows. Of course, the music we are playing on our shows is kind of different than the music we are releasing. So, yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you. Bye.